We are that light, not just through our outstanding academic programs, but as a sanctuary for living and learning in a multicultural world that is focused on peace and social justice. With this in mind in my summer travel, I actively sought out other inclusive sanctuaries of academic excellence, and I made some new friends along the way with some very interesting discoveries. For example, while some may consider it odd that we are a top Pokemon Go destination, consider the uniforms the students at the University of Coimbra in Portugal are required to wear. No, that's not Harry Potter. This is a photo I took of a male student, complete with his requisite pay. And here's a photo with me, with a female student. These students are not stealing Harry and Hermione's book. In fact, the opposite is true. Prior to writing the Harry Potter book, author J.K. Rowling lived in Portugal and was so inspired by the university, she modeled Hogwarts and its famous students after it. Regardless, the next time our students complain about the heat wave, remind them at least we don't have them wear these capes to class. As you can see in the photo, the shoes I wear around Europe are Titan orange, white, and blue, courtesy of our athletics department, which is great for school spirit, but not so good when I'm trying to hang out with the locals. So upon my arrival in Spain, I went to Casa Hernández, a tiny shop off Madrid Plaza Mayor, famous for selling espadrilles, the local summer footwear of choice. The shoes are made by hand on a wooden counter that dates back to the 19th century. But before I can slip on mine, I'm waiting one moment. My sneakers gave me away, and I was recognized by a faculty member from the University on the East Coast. We enjoyed a pleasant conversation, and his enthusiasm for Cal State Fullerton and our success just goes to show. As we become a national model, we also become a global model. And there are few places in the world where the Titan spirit is not thriving. And of course, he and his wife, who stood online with me to get into the store, are sending their resumes our way. And when you mention Cal State Fullerton to students across the world, look out. One night on a cruise from Portugal to Spain, I heard a bunch of noise right outside my cabin. So of course, I had to open it up. And what did I find? I discovered a group of Portuguese students celebrating their friend's high school graduation. Here's the group, pretty much how I found them. The young girl whose graduation was being celebrated aspires to be a medical doctor. And when I told her I worked at Cal State Fullerton, she lit up. And after answering many of her questions about the university, I gave her and other students my business card. When I told this to my chief of staff, Ann Camp, who probably will get phone calls, she said, I'm probably the only university president who goes to high school parties in Europe and hangs out with students. That prepares students for participation in the global society and is responsive to workforce needs was anchored by the continued development of the university's first ever Academic Master Plan, or AMP. You know, in academics, we all have these acronyms, AMP. This past year, with input from the Council of Deans, Dr. Bonnie, Provost Cruz, and the Academic Senate Executive Committee, we appointed a steering committee with 4 subcommittees to address comments that resulted from the first AMP draft plan. In the spring, the AMP Steering Committee then shared the first draft of the AMP with the campus. And based on the comments that came in via the AMP website, a narrative from each subcommittee was presented in May. This fall, an official draft of the AMP will be shared for yet another round of university-wide input. The importance of this work cannot be overstated, as the final product will drive all the short and long-term visions for the institution as we prepare our new 5-year strategic plan that will guide us through 2024. I want to thank Steering Committee Co-Chair Dr. Bonnie as well as Dr. Perry for stepping in to co-chair with her, along with the subcommittee and all types who have taken the time to contribute to this process. Also on Goal 1, our Student Success Teams, or SSTs, continue to thrive, one in each college, one at the Irvine campus, and one dedicated to special populations. The 10 SSTs are an innovative collaboration between student affairs and academic affairs, thanks to Dr. Ames, Dr. Cruz, and their faculty support, providing data-driven student advising that leverages the knowledge of our faculty and staff. Recently, Cal State Fullerton led a partnership with 10 other comprehensive institutions entitled Oasis, Optimizing Academic Success and Institutional Strategy. We were asked by the Lumina Foundation to be the lead group taking on this project. And at that first Oasis network meeting, which we hosted, an incredible panel presentation on student success teams, our very own, stole the show. Public Comprehensive University of the Nation. When we gathered in 2012 to begin the development of our strategic plan, our 6-year graduation rate was 51%. We aimed incredibly high with our strategic plan, announcing a goal to increase the graduation rate to 60% in 5 years. I said this last year, but it was so much fun, I'm going to have to say it again. There were those outside our campus community who felt we wouldn't land on this goal in 5 years. And as it turns out, they were right. We did it in 3. And this time last year, our 6-year graduation rates were up to 61%. That not only exceeded our own 5-year goal in just 3 years, but also the CSU System-Wide Graduation Initiative 2025 goal, putting us exactly 10 years ahead of our time. Of course, the naysayers didn't learn, and there were those who thought there was no way we could sustain the success, but we did. And while we're still tallying the final numbers this year, I am so very proud to report that our 6-year graduation rate for first-time freshmen has risen to approximately 63%, a nearly record high.